I love sun catchers, but this one may be my simplest one yet. Hi, this is Tweek. Today I'm going to make a sun catcher that has a bit of a twist to it. Join us. Supplies you'll need for this project are, you will need some prism balls, beading wire, some crimp beads, and assorted tiny beads. I'm using 2mm beads today. You will also need mirrored tube beads. So let's get started. I do love sun catchers a lot, and this idea is probably my simplest. I had to work out how to get the prisms to hang in a lovely curled cascade from top to bottom. Simple. Here's how we're going to do that. We take the beads that I've never used before. Isn't that funny? Of all these that I've made, I have not used these mirrored tube beads. I love them because they come a lot. They're inexpensive, but they pack a punch with the beauty that they create when you put them on the wire. It's just so lovely. So what I'm going to do is, as I create the strands on the sun catcher, I'm going to, longest strand is going to have 15 sets of 3 tube beads, and then I'm going to go down 14, 13, 12. So I end up with 8 total strands to put into the sun catcher. So let me show you how I did this out very quickly. They're so easy that I'm willing to do this. Take this one apart. My longest strand had 15 sets of 3. And I put little 2mm beads of color between. The 2mm beads could be any color you want. I like them to be small though, so they don't compete much with these really pretty mirrored tube beads. So I have a crimp bead on there. So simple. Why haven't I thought of a simple design like this sooner? So I'm going to take this apart just to show you how easy it is. So you've got your 2mm beads, your tube beads, and your prism. Let's get some wire. I'm using the bead along wire. I go for the same 0.018 inch. I like that size wire. And I'm going to pull off a little bit here. Over a foot. I always use too much, but I save the extras. And I'm going to start by putting a crimp bead on this wire, and then I'm going to slip on the prism ball, and that is the start. So let's get a crimp bead. Ooh, now I only need a few of them for this project. Usually a couple of them dump out, and they did. So let's grab one and push this through the prism. These are the 20mm prism balls. You could go with smaller if you want. I love the shine of these prisms. And so I'm going to string it through, and then I'm just going to pull the crimp bead down a little bit. Get it as close as I can there to the prism, and then I'm going to crimp it. I'm push down a little more on that crimp bead. Get it closer as I can, because I don't want a huge gap there. And there's our start. How simple is that? Now we're just going to fill it up with the beads. I'm going to see what I did here. Yep, I started right out with these little mirrored tube beads. I'm going in sets of 3s. You could go longer, you could go shorter. I'm doing it in sets of 3s. I like the look on the wire. So I'm going to do a set of 3, and because I have this excess wire down here, I could cut it off, but I'm going to just tuck it into the beads. And I'm just going to let it hang out there. See? It'll get covered up by the rest of the beads. So I'm going 3 tube beads and then a color bead. This case, it is pink, like a fuchsia pink. So 1. And hide that wire that's there. Okay, that's what we got so far. Simple, simple, simple. I loved this project because of its simplicity. Usually I kind of labor a bit over the design. Yeah. So see, by now we've got 5 tube beads and that wire is now hidden. And so I'm just going to load up the rest of it. We're going to get 15 sections of 3. So that's the only thing you got to be careful of. I want each string to be measured in a certain way so that they will gradually circle down. So easy. Keep going. 1, 2, 3, and 1. So we've got 15. Right. Now, let's see how I ended it. This one is the longest of the strand in the sun catcher. And the next one would be 14, and then 13, and then 12, down to 8 prisms. So I want them to gradually curl down, and I think the effect is pretty nice. So we've got here 15, and how did I end that up? It looks like just a clear bead here, a little bit larger, and then one more bead. So if I have 15 beads or 15 sections, it looks like I have 16 beads total of the color. Now I'm just going to put a little crimp in there and put a little space. Wow, I've got way too much wire here. Add a crimp bead. I want to put a little place to hook. And let's take off some of this because it's way too much. Save you for another project. So I'm just going to take this wire and push it through the crimp bead, through the color bead. See if I can go down further, because if you can get into the tube beads, you can really hide it. You can hide the excess. I'm holding tight on the main string or the main wire, and I'm trying to push the excess. Okay, now it's come through. That's okay because I can snip that off. And I want to try to bring this little hook down. That's the space. I want it to match the others. I want them to hang as closely as possible to each other. So I want a little bit of space back. Okay, I'm going to go right about there. So however you decide to do it, just make sure you try to get them as close as you can in the spacing so that they will hang the right way. Now that we've got this much extra, we'll take that off, but let's crimp this bead. So prism, crimp bead, these beads up to the top, you crimp in that, and now we're going to come back here and just snip off that excess. Whoops, and then I'm going to tuck that little tiny bead, or that little tiny bit into that bead that's there. It goes hidden. So you've got your longest strand in the sun catcher. So now would be the time to put it together. Okay, so next we have got our strands ready to be hung. What shall we hang them on? Well, we're going to make our own hanger. And that's by taking some wood and, well, let's watch the footage and you'll see how we did it. So we made our hangers and we made them a little thicker so they could accommodate the teardrop hooks a little better. There are 3 in the top that will hold the sun catcher, and then there are 8 on the bottom to hold the strings for the prisms. So let's show you how we did that. I want to make the top first. And there again, simple, simple, simple. We're following the same pattern. Take a little bit of our wire here. We don't need a lot, but we need to make 3. So I'm going to start like I did. I'm going to look here for reference. I'm going to put Prism. Okay. So I'm going to start like I did with the longer one. Oops, excuse me. I'm going to take a crimp bead and I'm just going to make a little loop at the end. So just bring the wire back in, bring the loop, bring the crimp bead down a little bit, and dangle this a little bit. However you do this, the 3, you try to make them as similar as you can. So that's what I've got. I'm going to crimp that. And this is where I'll put the hooks. Right now, we got the crimp bead on there. And I want to bead this up. My pattern is the same as here, only I'm going to do 4 sets. So where are my little guys? I just put you back away and we need you. Here's my little tube beads, my mirrored tube beads. And I'm going to go with 3. And I'm going to put a little bit of a different bead. I want the colors in this one. I want your eye to come to the bottom, not to the top. So I was going to go with some of these little teeny, I call them bubble beads. They're 2mm beads. I just like the fact that they look like little bubbles. So I'm going to go 3 of the mirror tube beads. I'm going to hide that extra wire in the tube beads. Wow, it's gone already. So we're going to make 3 and then 1. And I'm going to do that 4 times. So each of these little parts will be the same length. As much as you can get them the same. Weed out any of the tube beads that are defective. You don't want to use them because they'll change the size. They'll change the space. Okay. Now I want to look to see how I fix that ending. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to take one of those beads I used in the others at the top there. I'm going to take one of these beads and just put it at the top. And I'm going to crimp bead, come here, right? And I've got way too much here, way too much, wow. And pull it back in. So I'm gently pushing in the wire. I'm trying to get it into a few more of the tube beads, but we've got 2 there, and that's good. That's a good way to, these beads are great for hiding the extra wire. Oh, did you go in a 3rd week? You did. How nice. Okay, so I'm hanging on to the main wire and pulling down to get that loop the size I want it to be. And I'm thinking that looks pretty good. And I'm going to crimp. Okay. And snip off the excess. Close as I can, and maybe I can tuck it into the next bead. A little tiny nub in there, I'll tuck it into the next bead. And there it goes. Okay, so now I have to make 2 more of these because I need 3 of them to make the top of the hanger. So let me do that. So I've got my 3 little connectors here, all the same length, best I could get them. And now I'm going to put just a little of these rings through, and this is going to be the connector to the piece here. I guess I could do it at the same time. Put it through here, put it through here. There we go. A little more elbow grease there. All right, so I got 1 hooked there. Just using these rings to attach them. Making sure I'm putting the decorative bead at the top. A 3rd. Okay. Attached. Now I'm going to put them all together into 1 more ring at the top. Come here, ring. You're the one. 1, 2, 3. Okay. looks nice. Let's put, I've got a little bolt snap here, and this will allow it to swivel when it's hanging. Real simple. So now it will swivel. Nice, that looks good. So let's put all the prisms on. Get you guys out of the way here. Now, since I put these together from tallest to shortest, I'm going to make sure that's the way I put them on the hooks. Take just a moment here to make sure. Okay, now the way I'm going to do this is I'm going to start with the longest, and I'm going to go inside, outside, inside, outside, inside as I go around. So let's get some more of these hooks here. See if I have better grip on them with my tool here. I'm going to come in and hook and push together. Good. One. Now, that was the 15. We're bringing the 14th. I want the swirling effect as it goes down. Might have to get another. No, I got it. I don't have to get another helper here. Okay, so now we've got. See how they hang just a little bit off each other. Yes, good. Effect I'm looking for. All right, so number 13, we went out in, we're going out again. The hardest part of this is me struggling with the metal, because I guess I need stronger fingers. And one more. Come here, you little shortest one. Now, oh boy, hang on there, fingers. That hurts, but we got it. So here comes the reveal. See if I did this properly. If you guys all hang the way you should hang. There's a lot of movement in this sun catcher. So you see how they hang just a little bit off. Oh, I didn't use the twirly here. Let me fix that so the twirly gets used. There we go. All right. You're doing it. You're doing it. It goes top to bottom. We got a little bit of swirl action. And oh my goodness. Yay! It turned out. So if you like what you've seen here today, give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and remember to ring the bell so you know when another episode of Tweeks with Tweek is coming along. And until then, look at simple, beautiful. I can't wait to see it in the sunlight. See you again.